Being away from home is a lot harder after 70, and I discovered a truth about myself that I have to confess. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. Well, last week I traveled to North Carolina to attend my grandson's wedding. The wedding was beautiful, joyful, full of family and so much love. And the trip was great too. But I made a discovery about myself, a truth that I have to share with you. And that is, I can't adapt. I cannot adapt anymore. Not like I could when I was younger. I realized how important my daily routine, my daily surroundings, and the familiarity of what I have in my home, what I've created in my home, what that means to me. And I just don't want to settle for anything less. Now, I'm not complaining about the trip. It was fantastic. It's all those little things that put me out of my comfort zone and made me feel so out of sorts. And I'm not talking about big things. I'm talking about little things like lighting, utensils, bath towels, water temperature, just things like that. So I'm going to go over a few of the things that really hit the mark in what I'm talking about. Again, it might sound silly to you because these are little things, but to me, they were big things, and I can adapt to them. So as I'm going through these things, I'm wondering, is it just me? Does anybody else feel this way or have these issues? I would love to know, so please let me know in the comments section. So first I'm going to talk about the small things that really threw me off. One of the things are kitchen utensils. I know that sounds crazy, but I am used to my own stuff and I'm very particular. So for example, when I eat, I like to eat on like a square looking plate, not a round plate. I don't want the plate to be that thick, heavy glass or whatever it's made out of. I like my plate to be thin. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. See the shape of this plate? I like it. I just like it. It's the only one I reach for. And, you know, it's thin. And at this Airbnb, the plates were round and they were real thick. I didn't like that at all. It even made the food taste different. Another thing, the fork size. This is a regular fork size. This is the smaller one. I guess this is the salad fork. Anyhow, at my house, this is what I have. I will only eat with this size of fork. I don't want this size of fork. It's too big. It looks like I'm putting a weapon in my mouth. So I didn't take my own fork with me, and they just had these big forks. And I didn't like it. I couldn't adapt to it. Another thing is the lighting. Oh my gosh, I feel like I couldn't see. The whole 4 days we were in that Airbnb, there weren't enough lamps. In fact, there were hardly any. The overhead lighting was dim. They must not use the bright bulbs like I use at home. The bathrooms were so dark I could barely see to get ready for the wedding. It wasn't enough light. You know, at home, I know where the windows are and the light that comes through the windows. And like I said, we use the really bright bulbs. And I didn't like it at all. I didn't like that darkness I felt in every single room. Another thing, I didn't know how the appliances worked. You know, we know how to use our things at home. We're used to them. We understand how they work and it comes automatic. We tried to use some of the appliances there. A lot of them were countertop appliances like toaster ovens or waffle makers and that kind of thing. We couldn't get them to work. There was no instruction book. We were unfamiliar. When we used the toaster, the toast came out so dark, and we don't eat our toast real dark. I mean, doesn't it sound ridiculous talking about these little things, but yet they're so much bigger as we get older? And then there's the water temperature. At home, I know when I take my shower, the water temperature is exactly how I want it to be. I like a hot shower. You go somewhere else and they may have their water heater set to a lower temperature. The water pressure is different, so the water doesn't come out the same. The water was just not hot enough for me. When you go to turn the thing to make the shower come out, you don't know which way to turn it to get the right temperature. I mean, all these crazy things that I take for granted every day in my own home. And then you go somewhere else and everything's different, and it just throws everything off. And like I said, when I was younger, it'd be like, no big deal. I probably wouldn't even have given it a thought. But now I give it a thought, and I just can't adapt like I used to. I guess when you're younger, you would barely notice these things. But when you're in your 70s or just more mature in age, you get into a rhythm at home. And there is so much comfort in knowing that you know where everything is, you know how everything works. And when that rhythm gets thrown off, everything gets thrown off. And another thing that really drives me crazy, I am very particular about the kind of towel I use when I take a shower. I don't like the thick, plushy towels. I like the real thin, threadbare, old towels. Now, I laid two of my towels out back here behind me so you could see the difference. So I'll move to get out of the way so hopefully you can see it. If not, I'll put a picture in. But anyhow, if you can see how much thicker this towel is compared to this one looks so flat like a pancake. That's the one I love. So let me show you a little bit closer. All right, here's, I guess, what most people's bath towels look like when it's folded. It's about that thick. And here's the one I like to use. Look at the difference. That's a big difference. And this is plush and thick. This poor old rag is so thin and threadbare, you can almost see through it. It's my favorite towel, and I have about 3 of them that are really old. And I just keep rotating them because I want this. Well, of course, at the Airbnb or a hotel, or maybe even just if you're a guest in someone else's house, their towels are the thick plush ones because, you know, people want to impress people that come to visit, and hotels want to give high quality towels and all that. And I did not take my own towel. I should have if I would have thought about it. And I had a real hard time drying off with this thick towel. I didn't like it at all. Now, why am I like this? Why can't I adapt? Well, the only thing I can come up with is that, you know, over 70, your home really becomes your sanctuary. You are just comfortable there. You need good lighting. You need certain things that make your life function smoothly every day. And you know what brings you peace and comfort. And when you're out of your own home, you don't have that. So why does adapting get so much harder after 70? Well, I'm sure it's a lot of different reasons. But I think our senses change, our balance changes, our sleep changes. We become very familiar with our routines and things like that. And so when you're out of your home, all that is thrown off. And it really does make you feel so out of sorts. Familiar surroundings are very important to us as we age. We know where to walk when we're getting up from the bed to go to the bathroom, even although the lights aren't on because it's the middle of the night. But you know, you can count the steps, how many steps you have to take just to reach your bathroom. You know where the light switch is. That's all familiar to you. When you're somewhere else, it's totally different. You're walking blindly in the dark. You don't know where you're going. You don't know where the light switch is. It just creates a lot of frustration for us old girls. But there's a good part to this, and that is the blessing of coming home. Oh my gosh. Both Dave and I were so glad to come home and have our perfect temperature, water temperature showers and the lighting we need to function. Dave literally came in the house, bent over, and kissed his chair. Yes, he did. His recliner that he sits in for comfort. He sits there to eat or to watch a program or watch a YouTube video. That's where he relaxes. And he missed it so much that he literally kissed it. I really realized that when we create the home we want, our home really does love us back. And to be able to eat the night we got home on my little thin square plate with my short fork and then take a shower with my threadbare towel and have enough light to see what I'm doing was just such a blessing. So I definitely learned something about myself on this trip. And I don't feel bad about it. I know now for a fact that since I'm over 70 at this stage of my life, I do not adapt. And that's okay. I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel anything about it. I feel grateful that I understand that truth about myself. And the peace of home and the comfort of home is so important to me. And at this stage in life, comfort matters. Familiarity matters. It all matters. So I'd love to know if you have noticed this about yourself as well, or if you travel somewhere, even if it's just for one night. You know, do you get as excited as I do to get back to your home, your bed, your surroundings? The one thing I know for sure is that the value of home is so important to me, and maybe to you as well. You create the home that you feel good in. No matter what you create in your own home, it suits you, your personality, your comfort zone, your familiarity, all the things. And to be away from that for any length of time is just too hard on this old girl. Well, now I'm going to leave you with an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip comes from James 2 1 through 3. Consider it all joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. I felt like I really needed to hear that scripture because all these crazy things that I talked about, yes, they were annoyances and it's me. I mean, I can't adapt and I admit that. But there was so much joy in my heart through all of it because of the occasion. We were there for a wedding, the wedding of my first grandchild, and it was just so full of love and joy. And I will have pictures and things like that to share with you probably next week if the pictures come back on time. And I'll do a video and tell you all about it. But it's important to realize that no matter what the circumstances are, there's always joy to be had. We had a roof over our heads. We had water to take a shower. We had utensils. You've got to look at all the little things and be grateful for them. Now, not being able to adapt, I think, is just part of my age. I think as we get older, things change. We require more things. We require to know things, to know where things are and how things work and all that. We want calm. We want peace. We want to feel relaxed inside. And this is just part of life. But through it all, through all the out of sort feelings I had when I took a shower or ate or had to see or look in a mirror or whatever it was, that joy was just bursting from my heart because of why I was there. And I wouldn't have passed that up for anything in the world. Now, I have to say, while I was there and I was uncomfortable for all the reasons I told you, I wasn't really feeling joy about it. But now that I'm home and I can really look back and look at the whole picture, the meaning of the trip and everything, it was joy overflowing. I am so grateful to God that we were still here and able to attend the wedding. Physically, no problems. Our health was okay. And we were surrounded by an overwhelming sense of love from our family, from Mellie's family. That whole wedding was bursting with love. Who could ask for anything more? I thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.